Fantasy Pavilion for episode 4 of the Pick Preview. I have a special guest with me this evening, my good friend, a Real Madrid fan, but he's a big EPL player, playing for a long time now, big FPL player. Antonio, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Jared.
So, as you guys know, on Thursdays, I bring out my Nostradamus, my prediction magic, and I tell you guys who you should consider for your last-minute tinkering. But towards I will bring a guest on to help me out. So we're going to run through the teams and pick our best picks for you all to consider for this weekend's action. All right, Antonio, so I'm going to bring up the action on the screen and we'll start. How was your how game week 1 treated you, bro?
It was fairly okay. I made 89 points in my first team, and my second team, which is the team I used to play for monthly prizes, I made 99.
Must be nice. Must be real nice. I haven't breaks that high yet, but that's all right. You know, it's a marathon, you know?
It's a marathon, yeah.
All right, so let's start, bro. So we have Liverpool, Burnley as the first game. That is going to promise to be action. I am going to pick. So for Liverpool, I'm going to pick Jota. And Burnley, I'm going to stick with Tarkowski. I think Burnley might get a few corners in there. Tarkowski's a big guy. I'm going to stick with Tarkowski and Jota as my big scorers for this match. How are you feeling there, Antonio?
Yeah, I feel like if Burnley were to score from this game, it would come from a set piece and not so much of a build-up play. So yeah, I would agree with you there. But for Liverpool side, Mohamed Salah, he has been looking like the man right now. So I would go for Salah. He is actually being less selfish, but from the last game, he looked less selfish. So glad to see that. So I would think Salah is the man to have for this game in particular.
All right. So we have Aston Villa, Newcastle. Aston Villa, I'm gonna go Ings. Newcastle, I'm gonna go Murphy. I love John Murphy look last game, and I think Ings is gonna get some form. Bailey's got a little sweat the other day, so maybe he might assist him. So because I know people are saying based on his stats, Ings wasn't in much of the action. He was lucky to get the penalty, blah blah blah. He's a goal scoring machine. So that's my pick there.
My pick would be, if he is to start, Watkins for Aston Villa.
Right.
And for Newcastle, I would go with Stan Maximan. His pace, his ability to beat cross balls, he is a serious threat for the backline. So I would put my money, if I was on Newcastle. And strangely enough, I feel like Newcastle may edge this one. So
all right. Well, we're not predicting scores, but all right, son. All right. Crystal Palace, Brentford. Crystal Palace, they gave me a real headache this week because I wasn't sure who, what, and why to say it. I would just go Christian Benteke. He's a safe bet. He's big in the air. He might get a few long balls or corners or something and might cause the Brentford defense some issues. And for Brentford, the obvious choice, Raya. I love Raya, and I think I will go down with Raya till they meet up at like a Liverpool or something. So Raya to the end.
I would agree with you on this fixture here. Benteke, if something were to come, it would be from Benteke. And for Brentford, I am expecting, because Crystal Palace are looking good when it comes to attacking, but I would say Raya will put in some saves, so I would go for Raya as well.
Yeah. All right. We have Leeds, Everton. Leeds didn't start too hot, so they'll be looking to try and fix that. I think Phillips may feature. So I'm going to risk it and say Phillips. And Everton, well, you'll be a fool not to pick the boss himself, the Corey. You thought I was going to say Richarlison, right? The Corey down to the end. The Corey. Let me hear it.
Yeah, I know you're a huge Corey fan since, Watford. But I think Leeds have something to prove, and I was not expecting them to concede so much, which is kind of a worry for me in terms of their defense. So for Leeds, I would say stick with Ayling. He is an attacking threat, and for Everton, of course, you said it before, not the Corey, but Richarlison.
All right, no problem. So we have City versus Norwich. Oh boy.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Whew.
Pep, Pep, the man that hates fantasy, we have to try and get into his brain. Well, seeing as it didn't start too well, I want to say he may keep the same level, something he never does. So I'm going to say Mares. And for Norwich, Cantwell. I'll take a little risk there and say Cantwell.
Yeah,
So Mares and Cantwell.
that, those are great picks. I expect City to dominate this game. Seeing that Kevin De Bruyne is fit, he will start, and Gundogan is injured. But he has been training, but I highly unlikely knew in Pep he wouldn't start. When we surprisingly came off the bench, I came with an assist, but Man City, I would go with Kevin De Bruyne. And for Norwich, I would go with Cantwell. If something were to come from Norwich, which is highly unlikely, it would come from Cantwell.
Well, all right. Brighton, Watford. These were two surprise winners last week. They performed really well. I'm gonna stick with the guy that brought me the points, Mope. And Watford, hmm, I'm gonna go Sir, the obvious safe choice.
So, yes, I agree with you there as well. Mope, definitely. Brighton has the home advantage as well. But we don't know how Watford will play away, seeing that this is their first time first division. So I would go with Mope. And for Watford, I like how Dennis played. So I would put my cards on Dennis for this game.
All right, all right. So Southampton versus Manu. For Southampton, I'm gonna stick with the same guy I predicted last year. I'm gonna stick with Che Adams. I think if they're supposed to get anything, even if it's just a goal, I think Che Adams could put in that assist or even put in the goal. For Manu, I'm gonna go Luke Shaw. I want to highlight some of the defenders and some of the wingers that really put in the work, the assists, and he had a decent shot in that last game there. So I think he could probably put something this wrong. So I'm gonna go with Che Adams and Luke Shaw.
For Southampton, I would go with Armstrong. He's
Right.
quick, strong, and he's getting more game time as Danny Ings left. For Manchester United, I would go with the man himself, Mr. Fantasy, Bruno Fernandes. He's on set piece, penalties, creative play. He pretty much does everything. So I would put my cards on Bruno Fernandes.
All right, and he already started the pace for the Golden Boot race. So yeah, that's a great shout. Wolves Spurs. For this, for some reason, this game interests me the most because Spurs had a very interesting start, and Wolves also had a very interesting start. Yes, Wolves lost, but something about Wolves, they're looking very interesting, looking a little different from last year. I am going to say, I want to go back and say Traore. I predicted him last weekend and he let me down as usual as he's been doing for the past few. But for some reason, I don't know. My gut tell him Traore. And for Spurs, please forgive me for butchering his name, but Tampanga. Once he is fit and playing, Tampanga. I love that guy. Don't even know him yet, but I love him.
Well, I heard he had a groin injury, hence he came out for Doherty. But if he does start, he's a good one to look out for. For Spurs, the man himself, Son Heung-min, that's my pick. For Wolves, they're an iffy team, but they are playing home and they are playing against their ex-manager. So I would put my money on Adama as well. He's a very attacking threat. He big speed and he can finish, but he is 50-50 when it comes to finish. But Adama.
All right, and now, hmm,
Oh
take
boy.
this one away now. I don't even want to talk about this one right now. Go ahead.
So next up we have newly promoted Arsenal is their name. Playing the Europa champions, Chelsea. My word, my word. Arsenal, I don't know what to say. I saw that they got back Odegaard on a permanent. and they're going for Ramsdale. So maybe that may instill some kind of motivation for the team because they lack that depth, definitely, that creativeness they lacked. So for Arsenal, if something were to come out, a goal at least, it will come from Smith Rowe. He looked the most lively in that last game. And for Chelsea, I am a man that like to back the odds, and the odds are in his favor to score in this game on his debut. Lukaku.
All right. Well, I'm gonna do like a English reporter and dwell on the past and bring up a ghost from the past for Chelsea. And I'm gonna say Martinelli. Martinelli was brilliant against them when that period when Oba was on suspension and we needed some goals. I mean, that wasn't a away day, but I'm going to go with Martinelli. Maybe he might be able to hunt them and put some poison on them. And for Chelsea, I'm going to go Mount. I love how Mount doing this thing quietly and under the radar, and I like what he's doing so far. So, yeah, I'll go with Martinelli and Mount.
Nice.
All right. Next up, last game on a Monday Night Football. We have West Ham versus Leicester. Ben Rama and Vardy. Talk done. Simple as. No maths in that.
I'll make it simple. Antonio and Vardy.
All right. Yeah.
That's my
Can't vex with that. And well, guys, so that was the end of our preview section there. But I want to just show you guys my team. Unchanged. Antonio, poke some holes for me there. What you see there you don't like or what you disagree with?
I like this team actually. This team looks like a fighting team. If something were to come from Everton, it would be definitely come from Digny. He is an assist master. Tielemans, having two Leicester players, I'm not sure, but Vardy definitely has to be there because he is the man. I feel Grealish will come out with something to prove in this match in particular. So if he does get the nut to start, he will perform. Oh, but I feel like I'm seeing little red. So I feel like a man you asset is what you're lacking in that midfield. I don't know. It's up to you, but seeing that thing like Southampton, you may consider. It's up to you. I'm
The only thing,
I like this team. They have put everybody on that list has potential to score.
yeah. That's why the reason I'm breaking my rule. Normally, I don't like to put so much defenders because defenders are the ones most liable for red cards and conceding goals. But as you can see on the bench here, not much to work with at all. This big liability here, this pothole here. So, and I don't like to make transfers within the first game week 1 and game week 2. I like to wait till game week 3 when you have 2 free transfers. So I'm holding on tight until. So I'm hoping this team could at least climb me up to at least 80 points for this first week here, this second week here. Sorry. You made any big transfers, anything on your team at all?
So I have a habit of making early transfers because I know that based on the FPL market, prices go up every night. So I brought in for my team, I made a risk, but I brought in Pogba because I really like the way he performed last game, and I'm hoping that he comes with that consistency this season. And I also sold Danny Ings for Richarlison. The reason being, Ings wasn't much really involved in the set and build up play at all. If he didn't get penalty, he wouldn't have really made any points, to be honest. Richarlison, on the other hand, he is much more involved in the Everton attack. And I think if something were to come from that game, it will come from him. So, yeah.
Well, all right. So let's shell out some advice and stuff. Like, who you think are the best game week captains for this week, bro?
For this game week, it's really tight between Mohamed Salah and Bruno Fernandes. I would put my money on Salah only because he is playing home. So I would put my money on Salah. But I don't want to look past Fernandes because I looked past him last game week and it hurt. But I did captain Salah, which I still made my points. But Bruno came out guns blazing. So My pick would be for my captaincy. For one of my teams, I have Captain Salah and I have Captain Fernandez on others. Just so I
And
would unify.
give me three others from those two obvious guys, just for the fans now, for the viewers. Give me three separate captains that you think they should
Separate
consider.
captains, I would go
Yeah,
with Antonio.
right.
I would also go with, strange enough, I would go with Lukaku. If he starts, I am so positive he would start Lukaku, and I'm so certain he would score as well. And but that's wild for me to say that and to pick him because I captain because you don't know. And also I go with Vardy. Vardy is a man that always scores, no matter
Yeah,
what. Even if you lose, he's a man to be on the score sheet. Penalties, he is there. So
yeah,
those are
he's
my
bound
three.
to score. For me, if I had to advise, there's some captains to consider for this game week. Again, I will say Richarlison is a good shout. You'll get some goals there for sure. So I would say Richarlison. I'll say Ings. I know Ings risky, but something my gut. As I tell you guys, this is 80% gut, 20% stats and information. Gut. How to follow your gut. And my next big, I will jump in and even say Captain Mares.
That's a
Risky.
nice pick. That's a nice pick actually. Captain Maris
Yeah,
is not a bad option at all.
yeah. Risky,
That's
but I mean they're playing Norwich, and no disrespect to Norwich, but they're wounded animals right now. They lost the first game. They're the defending champions, and Pep is not happy, so they will come out guns blazing.
yeah, they will come out hungry for this match. So I
Yeah,
expect.
definitely.
Yeah.
Let's break it down now. So who's your top goalkeeper pick for this game week two? That's
For
one
this game
goalkeeper.
week, for this game week, I was gonna put my card on Sanchez.
All right, all
Brighton
right.
played home, so might as well. And he brings in the points. Last season he brought in the points. I have Martinez as my other keeper. He's more expensive, but based on their performance last game, they conceded a lot. But I mean, it could just be his first game. He just came out of Argentina winning their cup, so I don't know if he's tired or
Correct,
whatnot. But I
correct, correct.
believe that my pick for this game it could be Sanchez, just cause.
Okay. Well, I'll be a little controversial, and I'll say Woodman from Newcastle. He looked amazing. I know he conceded 4 goals, but he still got 6 points. He saved a penalty, and he made some key saves in the game because that scoreline could have been more. And I think Newcastle, when Willer comes into the team, they'll look a little better. So I just
That's
feel,
another thing. That's another thing. He is a guy that is going to uplift that team. He did it last season, coming out to the end. They were on fire when
yep,
Willa first
7 straight goals.
crowd loves him.
Exactly. So I think that I would say Woodman is a decent pick for this game week as a goalkeeper. Let's look at defenders now. Give me two defenders just to consider.
Trent Alexander Arnold. He is on free kicks. He is on corners. And if I were to make a pick from another team, I would go with the new boy himself from Chelsea.
Ah,
I don't know if you
I
want
don't want to
to.
say his name. I'm
I
afraid
don't want to say
things.
his name wrong. I don't want to say his name wrong.
Yeah, afraid things lift up off the ground. But Chalobah, I think you're referring to.
Yeah, Chalobah. He played spectacular. He scored as well. And based on the news that I got, he will be a sure starter. He is definite plans in Tuchel's game. So he will be starting on us as a regular now. So
Yeah, he
I would
signed a new contract. You were saying, right? You were telling me earlier off here. He signed a new
yeah.
contract or something like that. Yeah,
So that is something. So he's the one to look out for.
sure. Okay. Well, I'll county as always. I'm going to go Cresswell and Pinnock. Brentford have a easy-ish game now. I know it's away, and they haven't been in Premier for a long time, so that might be a factor. But I'm going to go Pinnock and I'm going to go Cresswell. Simple picks.
I
Right?
regret not having Creswell last game, Rick. I paid the price, but in the end,
Yeah. I lapsed Ailing last week. He was my defender. I lapsed on.
I had him in my bench, so I still felt the pain.
Two midfielders. Not Salah, not
Not Bruno. Okay, two
Fernandez. Someone else.
midfielders to look out for. Um, this game week, look out for Mason Mount.
Okay.
And if I'm being honest with you, I would say look out for Mahrez.
All right. Yeah. I'm gonna go. I can't pronounce his name too well, but I'm gonna go with Mbuema. I think is his name from Brentford.
Brentford, yeah.
And just to shake things up a little bit, Bowen from West Ham.
Bowen.
Bowen.
Not even Suchek.
Not even Suchek.
I don't know
Bowen.
your weakness for Suchek.
I know, I love Suchek. Suchek is my boy. But something about Bowen looking Bowen looked good in the first game. I know he didn't do much, and sometimes he does not do much. But again, gut. Gut. I tell you guys, it's all about gut. And I think Bowen might cause some trouble. He mightn't start, but he might come off the bench, and I think he will cause some trouble because he looked good last game. And give me two strikers.
Two strikers. For this game week in particular, who do I have in my fantasy? I mean, I feel like this man is gonna have a breakthrough game. So I'm gonna stick with Lukaku because I did mention him earlier. It'd be bad if I didn't. And Antonio. On fire. Off the back. Antonio.
Convex. I'm gonna go with Tony. Tony gonna put this rounds. And I wanna say I'll stick with Tony for this rounds. And I was going to say Ings, but I was trying to switch it up and be controversial. Chris Wood from Burnley. It's good to get some, low-key men in there. I think, yeah. So I'm gonna go, I'm gonna go with those guys. So before we go, guys, just wanna thank you guys for watching. Antonio, thanks for coming on. And as usual, I want to remind you guys, please, when you make your changes and your girlfriend distracts you, cooking something on your stove, please click. What are you gonna tell them, Antonio? Please click that.
Please click save, guys. And I am begging you, do not drink the night before fantasy and pick your team. You will regret it next morning. And you will curse and kick rocks. Trust me.
Please, we're doing this long enough. We know the struggles. Save. And don't be like, nah, my team good. Check. Right? And check my Instagram page, fantasy.pavilion. I'll try and put up all the news, all the injury updates there. And today's my stats, guys. Gonna help me out put out the info. You'll see it more often. All right, so thanks a lot, guys. We'll put any information. If you want to come on the show, chopping block, you want to come on the pick, right? You want to come on the inside show. Check out, slide in my DMs, shoot me an email. All right, guys. So happy picking, and hopefully game week 2 is another successful week. Thanks, guys. And Antonio, thanks again for coming through, man.
Not a problem. Like and subscribe, guys. Like and subscribe.
Yeah, man. Thanks, bro.